Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network. Hi, this is Amit Doshi, and I wanted to thank each and every one of our listeners. It's been 2 years since I founded IVM, and it's been an amazing 2 years. We wanted to learn a little bit more about who is listening to our shows, and so we put together a short survey. The survey is anonymous, and we aren't going to be collecting any personal information. I would really appreciate it if you could take a couple of minutes out of your day and go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and fill it out. Thanks, and please keep listening.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello everyone, welcome to the brand new episode of TFG Football Podcast, and today we are going to touch upon the national team, the national camp that is happening in Mumbai. Kevin is a privileged one to go and attend a few training sessions and talk to Robin Singh, Arnab Mondal. You have someone other on your cards?
Yeah, it's Sunil Chetri coming up.
We'll have more chances if we play. I'm sure before the Puerto Rico game, if somebody asked whether you're going to beat Puerto Rico at home, I probably wouldn't have said 100% sure. So until we play a game, we wouldn't know. It's very, very important to keep playing friendlies. It's a sad thing that after that we haven't played a single game yet, which isn't very ideal. National team, especially us, our country wants to improve, has to keep playing international friendlies and with better opponents, because that gives us a chance, you know. When you play a better opponent, even if you don't do as what you expect, you will always learn. You'll always improve. And yes, we would love to play more international friendlies or competitive games with opponents who are better than us. See, it'll be only true if we qualify easily, as what people are expecting. It is, of course, there are a little bit better teams that could have been there. There are teams, if we were in pot 3, we might have got a pot 2 team also. Definitely has helped. But it becomes nothing if you don't qualify. And the one mistake that we are not doing as players, at least, and I've played enough to understand this, that it's not an easy pool. It's a relatively better pool than what we have been getting for the last 10-15 years, because I'm playing for 11 years and we always got the Japan, the South Koreas, the Australias. A little bit better pool, but it's not easy at all. The last time I played, I think only me and Paul, maybe Robin was there, we played Myanmar, we lost 1-0. So it's not an easy pool until we do the job. Mathematically, yes, we didn't play and we got the pot 2. You never know what would have happened. We can't underestimate our country and say that if we were played, we wouldn't have got the same. Maybe would have been better, maybe not. But yes, being at pot 2 is beneficial. What it does is it eliminates the other 5 teams that are in pot 2, and then you get a pot C team and a pot D team. Thankfully, we got an all-out team, because there were 1-2 teams who haven't played and have gone to pot 3 and pot 4. But all this permutation combination only will work on a favor once we do the work on the pitch. The guy that I want to kick yesterday is a friend now, JJ. So it doesn't help. But that was not in our hand. That's gone. Now the important fact is that our last games we have been doing really well, decent, and we're going to carry on that. The most important part, as far as I'm concerned, is everyone to be fit enough. I think Pranav is not training because he's injured, which is a big blow. I do not want anyone to get injured. That's very, very important. I just hope that the players that have been chosen by our coach, he gets all of them at their best to choose from, which will be a great benefit for us. If all the players are fit enough and all the players that he wants to start the first 11 are fit and strong enough, then we have a chance. So that is very, very important. If we had more match training, if we had more games to play, if we had played more, definitely it would have helped. But it's not there, it's gone. We can't be thinking about it and cribbing about it. Now the whole thing is to improve ourselves every day, and we got 14 days now. 13-14 days now. So make sure that we understand what the gaffer wants, because what you play in the club is not similar as what you play for the nation. Forget about what has happened in the club and think completely, because this is massive. This is huge. We've got a great chance of qualifying for the most important tournament in the nation. There are players who have definitely done good and have taken their places. When we started, when our gaffer came, there weren't many players who could say that are going to start first 11. A few names that come to mind. JJ has been prolific. Eugene has been great. Gurpreet has come up, and so this was important. I'm not sure. I definitely know that it was not by choice that our gaffer wanted to come and say, you know what, you also play, you also play, you also play. It was just a period when the senior players were moving on and there were a lot of juniors coming up.
Yeah.
So that was also one of the reasons why he had to try everyone. His whole mantra was to have a bigger pool to choose from. which I'm sure he has done quite well. But to start with, it wasn't his choice that I'll go to India and I'll make sure that everyone gets a debut. So yes, now we have a bigger pool to choose from. That always helps, especially at times when Prannoy right now is injured. At times when anyone gets injured, the replacement should be almost equal, if not better, because that gives you a lot of edge. When playing, you don't want to think sitting, he's not there. That's not right for a team, because injuries will happen, form will dip. So it is very, very important, and I think he has achieved that. He has a bigger pool to choose from, and now it's up to us to improve ourselves every day and to be fit enough to be ready for a selection. I have seen the change. JJ, I wouldn't say was a debut, but JJ and now JJ in these 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, has been outstanding. And one name that comes to my mind along with Eugene is JJ, man. He has been outstanding, right? For his ISL club, for his I-League club, for our nation. He's been so good. He has, I think, has understood what works for him. He knows what he is good at, and he just simply does that. You wouldn't see JJ doing stuff that he's not good at. He knows exactly what works for him, and he works so hard, and he does the same thing, and he's producing performances after performance for the club and the country. Eugene second. Gurpreet has done really well, from a guy who might be the next big thing to someone who is so reliable. Sandesh Jhingan is doing really well. So all these players weren't the mainstream players 2.5, 3 years back, but now they have taken their places, and I just hope that everyone else also takes their places. I'm a firm believer that if you have a strong first 11, first 14, you become better. Because then the other boys have to push hard enough to get into the 14, and the 14 make sure that we're not going to leave. And then you have competition every day, and it improves everyone. So I just hope everyone, like the names that I've taken, I hope they always keep their place, and I hope the next one who come, they also keep their place, which is very, very important. See, I've got a simple mantra to be a better example. I'm not a firm believer of bringing the players and talking to them, because I know when I was a young guy, I would have hated it. I wouldn't like my senior to bring me and lecture me. That's something that I don't like, and I'm sure all the players don't like it. It doesn't work nowadays. Anyways, our span is so less now. We don't like it. I didn't like it, so I'm sure they wouldn't like it. So my thing is to be proper in training, be as professional as I can be very competitive, which I am, and that's how they see. It's better that they learn from my actions, and that's the only way they're going to learn. And if at all there's a need for me to go and talk to them, they know I'm available. I want to believe that I'm quite popular with them. I want to believe that I'm approachable. So whenever the young ones come up, I do go and talk to them. I'm quite fluent with all languages, so I do my job. But yes, the main thing is on the pitch, man. On the pitch, off the pitch, whatever, the way you react, the way you behave is what they're going to learn. No point bringing them and lecturing them. That is just going to do the anti. I just want to win the game, sir. The last time I played there was a qualifier. We lost and it thrashed our dreams. I really wanted us to play 2011, which we did, 2015, 2019. If we have to better ourselves, this is a big benchmark that we are playing the Asia Cup regularly. Then only you're going to be improving ourselves. We talk about playing World Cup. This is the real benchmark. First, make sure that this tournament that you do well, let's suppose SAF Cup, you always keep winning it. Try to send the under-23 team. I'm just saying. And then make sure that you always qualify for the Asia Cup, because then you know that you're improving. So that dip wasn't great. First of all, it was our players' mistake. We missed so many chances at Myanmar. We lost 1-0. And I was so sad. The whole team was so sad. And we know we are ourselves to be blamed for that game. So now we have a great chance to qualify for the 2019 Asia Cup. This is it. You got to keep playing Asia Cup, and then you are there. You're rubbing shoulders. You're going to play games with Japan. I haven't played a game against Australia, Bahrain, or South Korea after that. You don't get chance to play with them. So it's very, very important you play this big tournament. And once you qualify for the big tournaments, you can attract big teams to come and play friendlies also. So it's very, very important in all aspects. And on that context, the first game against Myanmar is so important, man. Under my stint in the national team, we haven't done particularly well at away games. We had some great results at home against some good opponents, but away we haven't done very well. So I just hope that we improve on that. Good thing is we're playing away. As I said, no matter who we play, we haven't done well away. At least since I'm playing, we haven't done particularly well away. So we would love to improve that stat. And it's a good mindset because we're playing away. Similar atmosphere, so we can go to Cambodia, play the game, be all ready, understand what the gaffer wants for the next game. It's not easy. Everyone is just coming from different clubs. So get back to the groove of how we're going to play, and a friendly match, a preparatory match always helps. There are many who have a chance, and I just don't encourage them to play for Europe, but any club that they think can better them. When you leave a club and go outside, the whole thing is to improve yourself and to go to a level up. Why do you leave zonals to go to district? Why do you go to play states? Why do you then represent a club? Then why do you go to a country? It's just improving yourself and going a level up. So there are a lot of names that comes in my mind, but I don't want to be partial. But a lot of youngsters have the potential and avenues now. What Gurpreet is doing is fantastic. We keep chatting, and I had a talk with him 2.5-3 years back when he left, and he was quite depressed, alone there, sad and all. And I told him just stick there. And look at him now, man. Look, imagine the Gurpreet, the lanky guy who couldn't even dive 5 years back. Always used to be called to the national camp because of his height only, and he knows it. He was called to the camp only because he was a big lump. But look at him now. You can't score against him. We do shooting training, and you don't see the goal. And he's that confident with every time when he comes back from there. He's just a different person. He's somebody who has improved so much, and I'm so proud of him. I just hope. You never know, man. 2 years we hear him in a moving club to one of the bigger giants in Europe, because he has a potential and he's improving fast, rapid, man. He's improving so much. We're ready to fight. As our nation, no matter how much we improve or no matter how much we win, we'll never be there, because we're 20th, 21st in India. Our target right now, in Asia, our target right now is to reach the first 12. Take an example of Thailand, who are playing the last, although they're getting thrashed, but they're playing the last round of the Olympic qualifiers. So to have any chance, you got to keep banging on the 12th, 13th, 14th rankings. For that, you have to keep playing big tournaments. So that's the realistic goal right now. But we can never say that we are ready and we're not bring it on. We can only be improving. And no matter how much we improve, it's always going to be less. So right now, the work is just to keep your head down and keep improving. Always, man. He's an asset. I've said this before. The day he realizes the kind of potential he has everything, man. He scored 2 against us a few weeks back, and I was abusing him. If he wants, I'm being very honest. If he wants, he can like this go to different level. The day he understands that the kind of potential he has, you don't have a player like him in our country. JJ does the work, because even though he's not 6 feet plus, he does the work. But Robin, he can do it effortless. I've trained with him for so many years for my club, and I've seen every day. People like Curtis Osano, who is 6'2" and 90 kg, he just shrugs them off like it's nothing. So the day he realizes it, trust me, for Robin to score a goal in every game is the easiest amongst all of us. Like for me, I have to make sure that I make fun of the defender, shrug him, this, that, fight, and then go score. You can keep the guy and just score a goal. It's as easy for him. The day he realizes that, I'm not even kidding, and he hasn't even paid me to say this, but trust me, if he stands and just shrugs you and shoots with his left leg, you don't have chance. And I've told him this in training when I see him doing this, and I tell him, this is how easy it is for you. And I'm not talking about any defender in Asia. You're that big. He's 6'3" almost. He's 90 plus kg and he's so strong. The day he realizes it, that this is what I've got to do. Something like JJ. Now JJ knows. You won't see JJ doing anything else. He knows. You can read JJ. This is what you're going to do. 2-0, what happened? JJ scored. Alright. 3-1, what happened? JJ scored. That's all. The day Robin realizes this, imagine JJ and Robin both strikers, man, and we play 4-4-2. Just what I'm saying. And both of them, you got to fight with JJ and Robin. It's not easy. I saw what JJ did against Iran. Taking the ball down against Iran. So imagine if you have two, Robin and JJ to deal with. It's not easy. So the day he understands this, he works really hard. He's a good kid. The day he understands this, we got 2 good strikers for future, man. After 9 years when I leave. Personally, as a club, I'm not happy because we're not doing good. We're not used to it. We're just used to winning the last 3 years. But on a whole, if I speak as a neutral, it's really good, man. It's really good when teams like Aizawl do really well. When they make sure that if you come to our home, we're not going to give you points. Something like what JCD did. Remember when JCD played, you go to their home, you're not going to get points. Like what Stoke does, like last 2-3 years, when you go to Stoke, you won't get points. So Aizawl is one of them. Even when we as champions, we went there, you don't think of 3 points directly. Shillong is doing really well. East Bengal finally is doing really well. Mohun Bagan is always a competitive team. And until the last game, we won't leave. So it's good when people thought that the league is done and that it's only East Bengal, Mohun Bagan and Bangalore FC. Now when you see just Chennai had a big result against East Bengal, it's good for the league on a whole. So I just hope it continues. I just hope every club improves themselves. Also minor things like they improve their ground facilities. Don't want to criticize Minerva, but that ground wasn't great. So I just hope they work on that. I don't know how much hand they have, but I just hope they improve that. I just hope every club improves themselves in all aspects, right? From the ground, from their team, from the coaches, from the players, and then only everyone is going to improve. We are going to be as good as our league. So until we all improve, what happened? Something to look forward to, first of all, man. It's not very often that we play big tournaments, and we talk about Asia Cup, it's the biggest in Asia. So when you have a chance, you want to grab it. We have been playing qualification for so long, and now we're in the final stage. We don't want to give it up. When we played Asia Cup in 2011, then that this is it. This is the tournament, the best in Asia are here. And you're playing against, we're unlucky, we got Australia, who was number 3. We got South Korea and Bahrain, 1-3-5. So, but yeah, that's the kind of tournament you want to play. That's the games you want to play. You want to play Puerto Rico, you want to play better opponents. Without demeaning the others that we play. But, let's say about SAF Cup, we've always been doing well. We always keep winning. And it's kind of a thankless tournament. You win it, SAF jeet ke aaye. You lose it, SAF haar gaye. You know what I mean? Because every team is improving. You can't say that India is going to beat Maldives 10 out of 10 here. Or 10 out of 10 they're going to beat Sri Lanka. Or any team. So every team is improving. So the tournaments that we are playing already and doing well, we should always keep doing well. And in future, as I said, if we can send 19 or 20 teams that we can, once we send, I think Arindam and all went to Bangladesh to play. It was an under-23 team, they won the SAF Cup. So I hope eventually we achieve that. That means we are keeping our neighbors, there only, and we are improving. And we rub shoulders with the other one, like Lebanon, like Palestine, like the next level. I'm not saying just go and play Japan or Brazil and all, but definitely the next level. Then you know how much you're improving. That is very important. And I'm sure Steven Costa understands that, and that's why he wants it.
And we are going to touch upon the Asian Cup qualifiers that we'll be starting off with. In fact, we'll be starting off with Cambodia, a friendly with Cambodia. I have Chiranjit Ojha with me. So, Ojha, what do you make up of this? All the AFC Cup qualifiers, Asian Cup qualifiers, sorry, and the training camp.
Big opportunity, right?
Yeah.
That's what it represents. It's like a chance at redemption for the Indian national team. We have made it to the third round. After a lot of pains and struggles through the last couple of years, and we are at a place where if we make the top 2 in this league, in this group stage, where we are playing with Kyrgyzstan, Macau, and Myanmar, if we make the top 2, we go into the Asian Cup.
It's a bit easy group.
After 2011,
it's a bit easy group.
It's not the worst that could have happened. Yes, so we are second. We are right now, the only team above us in the rankings is Kyrgyzstan, who are 124th. Okay, so it's not that above us either. Macau and Myanmar are both below us. So here's another speculation that has been thrown around. 6 matches, right? 3 home matches, 3 away matches in this group stage. It's going to go on. It's going to start later this month, and it's going to go on till March next year. Okay, so we got lots of national team action coming your way. People, don't worry. So if we win 5 of these 6 matches, we may break into the top 100 rankings of the world.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And that will be for the first time since 1997.
Yeah, true.
And see, it's a historic opportunity that way. So it's not just that you can, for the first time after 8 years, you can make it to the Asian Cup proper. But it's a big chance to correct the mistake that has been happening, frankly, for the last 2 decades.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so that way, that's why, we had exclusive interview on our site with Stephen Constantine a couple of months back, where he said, I want to go in full force for this. Okay, he's had some troubles because his preparatory camps were, cancelled, his friendly tours and everything, all the plans he made for the national team were cut short or cancelled, thanks to, a certain tournament. Which has no respect for international breaks. So here's what's different this time. When that interview I happened, I said like, yeah, Majid is coming, because he can confidently say, I'll have a friendly every match and I'll have a camp before every Asian qualifier match. So if ISL was around, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what is I mean, the ISL is the private tournament. If that was around, it wouldn't have happened. So that's why what is different this time, and I hope it pays off. So already we know that they're playing Cambodia on 22nd March ahead of that Myanmar game, and they're visiting Lebanon before their away match against Macau. But I don't think that's a preparation for Macau. That's a preparation for Kyrgyzstan, because that's the big one, big fish in the group. Group favorites very easily. So I think like we can talk in detail about how he's approaching this, how the training camps are so different from what the players face in clubs.
But Ojha, have you noticed one thing, that the squad selection by Constantine is almost the same. He's not toggling much with the squad, even though we have seen the likes of Jayesh Rane, who has done extremely well in I-League, or there are certain players who could have got. We also did a slider where the unfortunate ones who missed out on the national. Do you see he's sticking to certain set of players and then taking them to all the other matches?
Look, when he came in his second innings with the Indian team, at first his selection was deemed chaotic by some people. Like he was picking players out of state leagues. He was picking out of under 18 camps, and the Santosh Trophy even. That's how random he was, because he wanted to establish a certain set of players. And after all this, he has settled on a group that he really trusts, I think. Okay, and if you are a long time listener to this podcast, back when we were on Savan, we carried statements. We played clips for you from Stephen Constantine himself about how there is a certain set of players he thinks are effective for national duty, and certain set of players who, despite doing well the I-League or ISL, they wouldn't survive out there for the national team on international duty. So here's what he said basically was that people talk about back when he came back, Balwant Singh was a major name for the national team. So was Arata Izumi, and he did not like either of them because they were good. They were great when they got the ball, but they did not work to go and retrieve the ball. Okay. They were not that active off the ball. So I think that's one of the first litmus tests that he puts players through when he watches I-League or sees them at training. What are you doing off the ball? Because maybe you're playing for a strong team in I-League and you will get a lot of position and you can utilize your talent that way. But Indian national team is a perpetual underdog in the international arena. Yeah. And we are often playing in the when it comes to in the matches that matter, we are usually playing a team that is much stronger than us. So we have to always chase the ball. We have to always fight to get back possession, and we don't keep that much possession. So we need players who will always be active off the ball, who will be chasing the game. Okay. Who will try to win back possession rather than just waiting for somebody to give them the ball. So that's what he does, and that's why he probably prefers JJ to Balwant. That's why he probably wants a role in Borges in the team, or a Bikash Jairu over Arata Izumi. So that I'm not exactly sure why he did not take Jayesh Rane this time, but it may just be that he's just more happy with Bikash Jairu or the other or Udanta Singh, and thought that okay, as long as I have these guys, there's not much of a chance that either Jayesh Rane or somebody else will be able to take their position. Okay. So he's settling. He's settling on a group of players which he's going to use for 2019 Asian Cup. That's the goal everybody's working towards.
Okay.
So we will probably see less random selection from here on, and as the matches go by, every single round we will see a new list of probables come up and new national team camp takes place.
Okay.
The core will emerge. Okay.
Okay.
And but I still believe that before the Asian Cup qualifiers are over, Jay Sharani will get a chance.
Yeah.
He's going to get a call up.
Okay.
And maybe not this time, but maybe when we're playing Macau or somebody else at home, maybe Myanmar at home, it's better to test a player like Jay Sharani in a home match.
Yeah.
Right.
True. Kevin, you have been visiting the national training camp and you have been talking to players. How is the mood out there, and how players have been talking to you? What are their thoughts?
I've spoken to experienced players, and their thoughts are very clear on the approach of the coach. Before a selection, there is a set of a test or a run through with the data that is done to pick a probable side. That starts from fitness of the player to, as Chiranjeev spotted, chasing of the ball, and also judging your opponents. That is very important, that how you pick up your players per the opponent that you're playing. It cannot be something like a one-off. It has to be something like a general. That really helps the coach to understand what combination might work, right? If you just put out an entire new squad which has never played an international game or has not been exposed to certain kind of a pressure situation, so that all is kept in mind before a squad is selected. So you always see a small group that is carried forward, and you see a little tweaking around at the problems where you face, like the wings, or maybe the central, where there's a leak happening, or you require a strong central defender who can go up front for free kicks. That is all taken care by the data part.
Okay.
The analytics that is done on the condition, the ground condition, on the physicality of players. Like we noticed in the under-16, the BRICS, where India were leading against one of the teams. It was, I think, UAE.
Okay.
So we didn't have enough stamina to run the entire game.
Okay.
Being in our home condition, we were not able to catch up.
Okay.
So that also depends on whom you're playing.
Okay.
So these all factors are kept in mind by the coach. And it's not like a favoritism over here. It's all data analysis that is put to the use when you have a squad selection.
Okay. A couple of days back we ran this interview with Robin Singh where he spoke about sports scientists in the team. Were you able to see someone like this over?
See, injuries always have to be dealt separately. You cannot have the camp stopping for one or two injuries for players that are very vital for the team. So that's the reason you have sports scientists, you have a physical trainer who takes care of a few aspects of the fitness of the players. You might not have a player who's just sitting out for a rest all the time. You want him to be kept in touch, maybe not off the ball, at least on the ground, so do physical training.
Okay.
So these all things are always thought of and planned. It's not like situational based reaction that the camp runs on.
Okay.
It's much more higher than club level, because at the club level you have a target of a league that spans out in a short period. This is a long-term vision for the national team.
Okay.
So it's all planned. I don't see this as a reaction or a knee-jerk, situational reaction that you thought.
Okay. So we'll be playing Cambodia on 22nd of March. This is basically a friendly, a warm-up for the Asian Cup qualifier matches that are coming up. Oja, what do you make of this? Cambodia will be an easy run for us?
So I'm not entirely sure if this will be an easy run. After all, we are playing against a team that's won some games at home over the past few years. But I can obviously see why they picked Cambodia, because we're playing Myanmar and Myanmar not long ago. In fact, I think they faced them on 5th June 2015, and that was a 0-0 draw. Okay.
Okay.
But then again, Cambodia is again pretty fitting for for a warm up for Myanmar, because or as a warm up team or an international friendly team during the Asian qualifiers, because they have also faced Macau. In the same year, in 2015, they beat them, I think, 3-0 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely know this is a team that can be equal with Myanmar and can actually beat Macau. So they have experience of playing both these teams. So obviously we should go out there and experience them and just use them as a launching pad for our campaign. So it's pretty good. I think they put in a lot of thought into this, and if we beat them, we will definitely know where we are compared to these other teams at the moment.
Okay. Oja, let me ask you this one final and very tricky question. What is the status of telecast of these matches?
Well, all the Indian matches, like the ones that will take place in India, all the Asian Cup, which is 3 matches, not big deal. All of them will probably be telecast on Star Sports and DD National. We are confirmed with the DD National part, and this is big because Indian national team on the national broadcasters, that has not happened for a very long time.
Okay.
And Doordarshan is to blame for that. They have that law in place where all the important matches, the feed has to be shared with Doordarshan.
Yeah.
Right, and they use it happily for cricket matches. But they have not done this for football matches at all.
No, obviously for the commercial reasons.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, you have to show.
The law is in place for national interest. The reason they passed that law was to make sure that, just Indian people get to see those matches. Right? And if DT National just then turns around and says, oh no, we're going to do this for commercial reasons and we're only going to take one days and T20s and ignore everything else and maybe a couple of hockey matches, that's hypocrisy on their part.
Yep.
It should be their duty to show all major national team tournaments and matches. So that's what it should be, and I think because the 2017 Under-17 World Cup is coming up and you need to promote more football, and the sports ministry is getting more and more involved with football, so finally they are waking up and saying, okay, let's have the home matches at least on national TV, and this will have more impact than anything else.
Yes.
Anything else, because freaking people who are in the remotest parts of the country will get to see the match.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
Okay. But no news on the away matches. We'll have to...
Away matches will be one-off. All the friendlies, I would say, don't have your hopes high for the friendlies. Okay. Anyway, you have seen how Star Sports is treating AFC Cup, how the other networks are also, a little bit hesitant. So Sony 6 was showing a lot of Indian World Cup qualifier matches. So hopefully they will step up and try to get some of the rights. Maybe Star will do something as well. What is Doordarshan doing? They don't show anything anyway. So this is a chance for them to come and show something. But otherwise we'll have to depend on streams, I guess.
Right.
The away matches are completely up in the air. We will not know what's happening until at least a week before the match happens.
Okay, guys. Anything from Indian football, you can visit our website, thefangarage.com. You can connect us via Twitter, TFG Football, as well as via our Facebook page, The Fan Garage. You can listen to our podcast on major podcasting platforms like Indusvox Media, Audio Boom, SoundCloud, iTunes, and definitely on YouTube. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Till then, take care.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcasts, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcasts galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.